Hello everyone. In this video we will be talking about operations with functions. Chapter 5 section 4. We can combine functions together using the arithmetical properties that we know hold for the numbers: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Notations for these functions are f plus g of x equals f of x plus g of x. For subtraction, f minus g of x equals f of x minus g of x. For multiplication, f times g of x equals f of x times g of x. For division, f divided by g of x equals f of x divided by g of x. And your denominator can never be 0 to have a defined function. So be careful. The addition, subtraction, multiplication, division for all the letters, the functions f and g are in one bracket, one pair of brackets. X is in another, and you can separate them. Write this as f of x plus or minus or times or divided by g of x. Let's take a look at some examples about adding and subtracting functions. The first example will be f plus g of x, where f of x is 5x minus 6, g of x is x squared minus 5x plus 6. So f plus g of x means f of x plus g of x. You can add them separately. So what is f of x? Your f of x is 5x minus 6. What is g of x? Your g of x is x squared minus 5x plus 6. It is just like adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing expressions. We do the same. We just add them. How do you add expressions? How do you add numbers? You just have to add the like terms. So we have x squared here, only one x squared. There's nothing to add or subtract to x squared or from x squared. And we have 5x minus 5x. You can combine them. 5x minus 5x makes 0. They will cancel each other. And we have negative 6 here and positive 6 here. Combine them. They will also cancel each other. So we are left with x squared. Part B, f minus g of x, it means subtract them separately. F of x minus g of x. Write what f of x is, which is 5x minus 6, minus, write the g of x, which is x squared minus 5x plus 6. If you write the subtraction in this way, you will make mistake because there is subtraction sign here. So that belongs to the every single term in the second function. So it is not just belong to x squared, it also belongs to negative 5x and 6. So we have to make sure that we are using parentheses for the second function when there is minus in front. So you distribute minus and get rid of the parentheses. 5x minus 6 minus x squared minus minus makes plus 5x minus 6. Now the following step is combining like terms. I have negative x squared here. No more x squared, so just itself. What about x's? I have 5x plus 5x. I can combine them. 5 plus 5, 10. It makes 10x. And what else? The numbers, the constants, negative 5 and negative 5. I will combine them, add them up, negative 6 and negative 6. When you add them up, you get negative 12. So that's the result. Negative x squared plus 10x minus 12 is the difference between these two functions. So adding and subtraction functions is no big deal, and neither is multiplying and dividing, although the arithmetic gets a little bit harder. So when there is multiplication, It involves a lot of distribution. When there is division, it involves factorization, simplification. So let's take a look at how to multiply. It's like expressions. You multiply two expressions by doing distribution. The first one, g multiplied by f. Take function g, which is 2x minus 2, multiply it by function f, because when you expand this, it's gonna be g of x multiplied by f of x. You multiply them separately. So g times f, which is 2x squared plus 4x minus 6. It's gonna take time to solve this. Remember, when you distribute every single term of the first factor by every single term in the second factor. So 2x by 2x squared makes 4x cubed. 2x times 4x makes 8x squared. 2x times negative 6 makes negative 12x. So we're done with the first term from the first factor. Second term from the first factor. Multiply the second term by every single term of the second factor. So negative 2 times 2x squared, negative 4x squared. Negative 2 times 4x, negative 8x. Negative 2 times negative 6 makes plus 12. Now combine like terms. I have 4x cubed here, which I have no more x cubed. So 4x cubed. I have 8x squared. Anything else with x squared? Yes, I have negative 4x squared. So I can combine them. 8x squared minus 4x squared makes plus 4x squared. And what else? I have x's. What are the x's? Negative 12x and negative 8x. Combine them. It makes negative 20x. What about constant? Do you have any constant? I have 12. So let's just use 12. It is alone, nothing to add or subtract. So that's the result written in simplest form. This is how you multiply them, just by doing distribution. What about division? The second part is about division. Let's do the division. F of f over g of x means f of x divided by g of x. So take f of x, which is 2x squared plus 4x minus 6, divided by g of x, which is 2x minus 2. So here, I need to simplify. How do I simplify them? I have a trinomial here, I have a binomial here. So the only way of doing simplification here is doing the factorization. I have to factorize the top. So let's try to factorize the top. Take the top, which is 2x squared plus 4x minus 6. I can take 2 out as a common factor. 2 is common for every factor, every term here. 2 is out. So x squared plus 2x minus 3 remains. Now I can factorize this. X, 3, 1. One of them will be minus. The middle term, the sum, is supposed to be plus. So the bigger number will take plus. The smaller number will take minus. So it's going to be x plus 3 times x minus 1 and 2 in front. This is my f of x. Can I simplify 2x minus 2? This is f. For g, can I simplify 2x minus 2? Yes, I can. 2 is a common factor. I can take 2 out. It's gonna make x minus 1. So now rewrite the top as 2 times x plus 3 times x minus 1. Rewrite the bottom as 2 times x minus 1. Now I can simplify them easily because I have common factors. X minus 1 at the top, x minus 1 at the bottom, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. The result becomes x plus 3 when x is not equal to 1. Remember the definition, the denominator is never 0. So if x is 1, it is 0, so x shouldn't be 1. So when x is not 1, the answer is x plus 3.